Hi, it's Maija here with my April TBR, and I'm going to do the Goodreads sorting challenge. This is something that Alexa from Library of Alexa did in November, and it looked like a lot of fun, so I want to try to do that as well. It's one of these Goodreads chooses my TBR sort of things. But first I wanted to mention the two books that I'm planning to read in April anyway, and the first of those is The Raven Tower by Ann Leckie, which is Ann Leckie's high fantasy book, and I know nothing about the plot and I prefer to keep it that way. Ann Leckie wrote the ancillary justice books and I really love those, so I am looking forward to this one. The second book that I'm planning to read in April is also from an author that I have loved. I pretty much loved all of her books, all of her works that I've read before, and that is Sword Heart by T. Kingfisher, which is a pen name for Ursula Vernon. And this is set in the same world as her Clockwork Boys books, so it's a high fantasy world. But I also don't know a lot about this one, so you'll have to wait for my wrap-up to know more, because I want to go in blind, because I know I love her books, so why even read the blurb? So let's move on to the Goodreads sorting challenge bit, and as I said, this was started by Alexa from Library of Alexa, and I will link her channel and the original video down below. But this is choosing your TBR from your Goodreads shelves, because Goodreads has many ways to sort your shelves by. And I chose a couple of those ways to sort my shelves and put them in this jar. You know, this is my TBR jar, but I just chunked out all of the TBR jar challenges and put these challenges in. So I have here some of the sorting options that I chose from Goodreads. I have title, author's name, date added, date published, average rating, number of ratings, and random. I didn't want to put in number of pages because I'm not feeling like reading the longest books on my TBR. But I added random, which is something that you can choose from the drop down on the bottom of the page. So I'm just pulling out ways to sort my books on Goodreads, and that will tell me my TBR. So there's one thing that I'm changing from the way that Alexa did this, because I'm currently focusing on reading my owned books. So I have two shelves on Goodreads. One is owned, which are physical books, and one is owned ebooks. So I'll be sorting both of those shelves by the sorting option that I pull out from the jar. That'll give me two options to choose from, because I want to give myself a bit more of a choice. So I will either choose the ebook or the physical book to read. Wait, except for random. Random will only give me one book. So if I pull out random, I will read both the physical book and the ebook. This sounds so complicated when I try to explain it, but it's pretty simple, as you will see when I start pulling out the categories. I will pull out two categories, which will give me 4 books for my TBR. For example, if I get a number of ratings, I will sort my ebooks and physical books by the number of ratings, and then I will choose the one with the most ratings and the one with the least ratings. So either an ebook and a physical book, the most and the least, and that will give me 2 books from every category, and that is why I will only be pulling out 2 categories. Because I already have 2 books to read, and then this will give me 4 more, and that's like a lot for me to read in a month. So I hope that made sense. Now I will start with the first category. So let's pull out the first sorting category, and that is, you can see it says average rating. So now I am on my own physical books, want to read shelf, and I will sort it by average rating. So this one was a bit of a fluke, because I got Fool's Assassin by Robin Hobb, but I haven't finished the Rainwald Chronicles yet, so I actually can't read that. So the first choice for me would be Cordelia's Honor by Lois McMaster Bujold. This is a bind-up of 2 books which start this, or are first in a chronological order in this huge science fiction series. So if I choose from my physical books, I would read the first book from that bind-up. So let's now do my ebooks. So my highest rated ebook doesn't even have a picture. This is a comic, How the Best Hunter in the Village Met Her Death by Molly Ostertag. And this is a digital comic that I own. So I actually am not sure yet which one I will pick. It's either Cordelia's Honor or this. I think I will pick after all the other books, this bit of cheat, because I'm not sure how long the other books will be that I pick. So if I pick shorter books, I will pick up the Lois McMaster Bujold one, but if I pick very long books, then I will read the digital comic in April. So now let's see the one with the lowest average rating. First from physical books. The one with the lowest rating, to my surprise, is Blood and Iron by Elizabeth Bear, which is sort of historical fantasy with fae and magicians. Actually, I'm not sure if the first 2 books are historical fantasy, but the 3rd and 4th books definitely are. And I just recently purchased this, and it seems it's the lowest rated book on my physical TBR. Let's see the ebook. The lowest rated ebook on my own TBR is The Goblins of Bellwater by Molly Ringle. So this is a romance book, I think, and it is based on the poem The Goblin Market. Most people have no idea goblins live in the woods around the small town of Bellwater, Washington, but some are about to find out. Sky, a young barista and artist, falls victim to a goblin curse in a forest one winter night, rendering her depressed and silent, unable to speak of what happened. Her older sister Livy is at wit's end, trying to understand what's wrong with her. And then there are apparently love interests for both of those sisters. I don't feel like reading this now, so I think I will pick The Goblins of Bellwater to read in April. Here's the cover that's on Goodreads, and I really like that cover. And this is only like under 300 pages, so it's quite a quick read. Okay, let's pull out a second category. Date added. Oh no, oh, the oldest books on my TBR. Will I feel like reading them? Let's see. I was a bit afraid of this category. The oldest book on my physical TBR is right here. It's Dracula by Bram Stoker, and this wouldn't be intimidating at all, except I have the Audible audiobook, and I'm so slow at listening to audiobooks, and I would really want to listen to this as audiobook, but let's see what the ebook is. Okay, and the oldest added ebook on my shelf is The Strange Affair of Spring-Heeled Jack, which is the first in the Burton and Swinburne steampunk series by Mark Hodder. And I'm just gonna say that I'm gonna go with that. I actually need to choose a physical book, but I'm not gonna listen to Dracula in April. So this is set in London in 1861. The main characters are Sir Richard Francis Burton, who's an explorer, linguist, scholar and swordsman. Then there's Algernon Charles Swinburne, who's an unsuccessful poet. And they're gonna investigate this creature, weird apparition known as Spring-Heeled Jack, which basically is like a Jack the Ripper sort of character. It's 376 pages, but I'm gonna choose that one because I'm not gonna read Dracula. Okay, now I saw that this by the most recent added, and that was The Day of the Triffids by John Wyndham. I'm a bit surprised by this because I bought it a while ago, but it seems that I had forgotten to add it to Goodreads, so here it is. This is a science fiction classic about plant aliens, I think. Ooh, and the most recently added book on my ebook TBR is An Unkindness of Ghosts by River Solomon, which is a science fiction book that I really want to read. But since I don't have that many physical books chosen, I think I'm gonna go with The Day of the Triffids by John Wyndham. So those were the two categories that I will be reading from. Since I don't think the books that I chose are that long, from the first category I think I'm gonna go with A Cordelia's Honor by Lois McMaster Bujold, and that is the first book in this Shards of Honor. But in case I'm having trouble throughout the month, I'm gonna switch it to the digital comic. So this brings my April TBR to Sword Heart by T. Kingfisher, The Goblins of Bellwater by Molly Ringle, The Raven Tower by Anne Leckie, The Day of the Triffids by John Wyndham, probably Shards of Honor by Lois McMaster Bujold, and The Strange Affair of... I already forgot the name. Yeah, it was The Strange Affair. The Strange Affair of Spring-Heeled Jack by Mark Hodder. So that was my April TBR. Thanks Alexa for coming up with this fun game. Let me know in the comments what you are reading in April, and I will see you in my next video.